Every transformation begins with a vision and ultimately a commitment to drive change. Prior to the late 1990s, public procurement in Jamaica was largely a paper-based process and lacked the strategic analysis required to inform the effective management of public funds. The process relied heavily on manual documentation, physical tender submissions, face-to-face interactions, making procurement both time-consuming and resource-intensive. This led to the national policy shift from a centralized framework through the Central Supplies Division in the Ministry of Finance to a decentralized procurement function where procuring entities were given the authority to manage their own public procurement transactions. As Jamaica modernized in keeping with international best practices, public procurement also evolved alongside Jamaica's broader transformation agenda that included codifying Jamaica's public procurement regime through the specific policy and procedures aimed at establishing clear principles of accountability, transparency, competition, and value for money. Supported by our international development partners, comprehensive assessments were undertaken during the mid-2000s that confirmed Jamaica's readiness to effectively implement an electronic procurement system. This journey encompassed a holistic reform agenda. Landmark legislative reforms, including the Public Procurement Act 2015, which was further amended in 2018 and supported by attendant regulations. This created a modern legal framework supported by a suite of standard bidding documents and a dedicated career pathway in the public sector for practitioners, all supported by the use of technology in public procurement. In 2015, that vision became a reality with the launch of the Government of Jamaica Electronic Procurement System, GOJEP. GOJEP transformed and shifted procurement from fragmented paper processes into a secure, searchable digital platform, improving openness, accountability, and public confidence in government procurement. It was more than the introduction of a new system. It marked the beginning of Jamaica's first generation of public procurement reform and the introduction of digital innovation and continuous improvements.
The first generation of reform taught us that GOJEP could take a procurement system outside of a filing cabinet and put it onto a secure online platform so that anyone, anywhere in the world could engage with public procurement in Jamaica. And that itself was a remarkable achievement. But those of us who worked closely with the system came to understand GOJEP was generating data, and that data taken together would tell a really compelling story about how the government of Jamaica is spending billions of dollars of public money each year. For far too long, we treated that data as a byproduct of compliance, as something simply to be stored rather than something to be studied. And the question that therefore began to occupy us was, if we knew what we are buying, where we're buying it from, at what price, from whom we are buying it, why are we not using that knowledge to buy better? And that question is really what set the next piece of reform into motion. Because the ambition that we had was to, and still is, to move GOJEP from a system of record to a system of insight. A platform that does not merely capture procurement activity but makes sense of it. One that gives a procuring entity a clear view of its own spending, that allows policymakers to see patterns across the whole of government, and that surfaces where we are paying too much, where competition is thin, and where aggregating our demand could deliver real savings. So before I demitted office, we began to lay that foundation. We started to reframe procurement data as a strategic national asset rather than an administrative burden. And we looked hard at a number of important tools and considerations that surrounded data, and in particular the kind of data that we were getting and we could get from GOJEP. We did spend analysis. We started to generate categories that could deal or take on greater weight in our overall strategy. And we looked at early warning signals that well-organized data can reveal long before a problem becomes a headline. And that work was not finished. Reform of this kind rarely is, but the direction was set. What we launched today carries that vision forward and gives it life.
When most people think about public procurement, they think about tenders and contracts. But over the next decade, public procurement in Jamaica will become much more than that. Our vision is to build a fully digital, end-to-end public procurement ecosystem that supports every stage of the procurement journey, from planning and solicitation to supplier payments. Imagine a procurement system where artificial intelligence assists practitioners to prepare solicitation documents in minutes, significantly reducing administrative burdens and the risk of human error. Imagine a system where procurement approvals are seamlessly integrated, where government has real-time visibility into procurement performance across the public sector. Imagine a system where procurement data is captured once and used many times by the various stakeholders who have a legitimate interest in receiving the data. Imagine a supplier being able to log into a single platform and track their procurement journey from bid submission to contract award, invoice approval, and ultimately payment. Procurement does not end when contract is awarded. It ends when suppliers are paid. Our vision is a procurement system that promotes transparency and accountability, not only in how government procures, but also in how government honors its contractual commitments. Over the next 10 years, we want procurement practitioners spending less time on administrative processes and more time exercising professional judgment and delivering value for the Jamaican people. We want citizens to have greater access to procurement information, promoting trust and confidence in how public funds are spent. Today's launch is not simply a system upgrade. GoJEP 2.0 is the foundation upon which Jamaica's next chapter in digital public procurement transformation will be built. The future is more than digital procurement. It is intelligent, smarter, stronger, integrated, and fully digital. And that future begins today.